Town Manager Tom Lynch looks back over his time as town manager as he prepares to leave the corner office. On this episode of Barnstable Today, it's Monday, June 20th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mannel.
This will be our last show to be together and find out how your weekend was and start off the week. But I'll be finishing up on June 30th. Mark Ells, the assistant town manager, new town manager, will be doing his first e-news. So we're making that transition next week. And I know he values Barnstable This Morning, Barnstable Today, and of course the e-news is ways of reaching out and keeping in touch with our citizens. So I thought we might reminisce a little bit today and let
absolutely. Well, it's always, I have to say thank you so much for coming in, and it's nice that you come in live in person. It's great, and so yeah, I mean Barnstable Today. We've been and Barnstable This Morning has been on the air for many years now.
Yeah. Well, when the former town manager John Klim was vacationing and down in the Key West area of Florida, he kept hearing a radio station that was on where they, as part of their civic engagement, they had department heads and whatever coming on and on this radio program. And he thought that would be a good way to keep in touch also with our citizens. So we're not against stealing any good idea that we think is out there to talk to folks. Well, couldn't get a radio station where the timing on all of that would work. So thought of our government educational, public affairs station here, and the whole idea was with Barnstable This Morning was to take individuals and give them a slot, and every single day citizens will be able to know what the schedule was and who they could listen to. And there've been a couple of different hosts now. You've been here quite a
5 years, 5 years.
So we've been flexible in terms of being able to modify the schedule according to folks' time availability. But key people, town manager, police chief, DPW, finance director, they've all been very consistent with the time slot that they had, and it's accomplished just what we were hoping, which is a consistent way to get information what's happening in that department. So if you listen to Mark Milne each week, you'll have a civic lesson in basic municipal finance, and he's explained what enterprise accounts are like. He's delved into different budgetary issues. The chief has been very forthcoming with the way they've been trying to protect public safety, or what the opiate crisis was doing, or the homeless, or if there were a crime in town, to talk openly about that, to get it out so citizens would have a chance to have that before them. And then with Barnstable Today, it was a similar sort of startup where we know how busy people are every day of their lives with kids and 2 jobs and all that stuff, but would like to know more about what's going on in town government. And so the idea being, we'd put together a news program where we could actually talk about what was happening at the Conservation Commission the previous night, what was happening before the planning board, whatever the meeting might be, and give a recap of that so that citizens could go back and live stream it, or rather, go back and look it up on the website or whatever. We try to interconnect everything that we could do. And so this show was never meant to be a bulletin board or just say, here's the next event that's coming up. And I think we've been fairly true to that mission.
I think so too, and it really, I think that, the reaction that, when I'm out in public, people recognize me from the show, they recognize Sarah Mantle from the show, and they say thank you, which is really great, and so that they are paying attention, and they see it as valuable to be able to hear from you, or hear from the chief of police, or hear from our DPW director. It really is, it can be difficult to navigate and learn how municipal government works, so
we have some loyal viewers, just as you point
do.
out. I know Judy in West Barnstable, and Ann in Centerville, and Jennifer in Centerville. There are a lot that will check in and say, good job, or ask a little more about some of this. But we've covered storms. I think the value of one clear value that citizens have recognized this show is that you've been on, and in terms of presenting storm information, and when we have had to cancel, when Irene came through a couple of years ago and we had to cancel the 4th of July parade and reschedule the fireworks till Labor Day, we were able to communicate quickly with a lot of our citizens, and they tuned in to try to get information from Channel 18.
Absolutely.
So, and I think that, for me, it's one thing to write about, or to tell people at town manager communications or something that we're working on an operating budget or working on the capital budget, and it's not always the flashiest of news stories or whatever, but for me it's been a chance to show citizens how long it takes to develop that document, which is so important to how we run and maintain our town, and to delve into that with regularity as we get closer and closer to bringing it before the council. I think people know, maybe they don't, but we sit here looking out to our viewers, but sitting here right now, we have Sarah Beal, who's doing our production. They know Sarah Mantle, who is our co-host here, and of course, they recognize you in terms of, so it takes a lot of work to put it together. They never see Sarah. I should embarrass her, Sarah Beal, I should embarrass her and call her up here and say thank you. But
she's like, no way.
No.
We try. We tried to get her on camera before. She says no.
But I think the fact that we're consistently on, and our IT department helps support us with all of this, I think that certainly makes it all work. And to the department heads that come up every week, I think that it's a commitment of their time. But one thing we tried to do with this is they can phone in. So if they're going to a conference, or they've got in between meetings or something like that, they can phone in and still have the information. And I think they've been very, very loyal in terms of presenting that. So, and I think when we couple this with our e-news that we started, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it's another linkage. And then, of course, we put all of the shows and all the guests that you have at the end of e-news, so people can go on and see if that works. So it's all an effort to try to just inform viewers and give them information. And I think it's worked over the years, so it's certainly been a lot of fun for me.
I think so too, and I think we're seeing as well other government stations and other access centers kind of copying what we're doing, which is great. Sarah Mantle and I several years ago made some presentations about the show at a community media conference, and since then we've gone back and seen more and more access centers saying, hey, we can do this, it is possible, and really finding that connection with the local government and their viewers. So,
well, it takes work, and it takes, you're reaching out to a lot of community members, but the community members, I think, also see a value to this. Our legislators who have been on, and others who, because it's a chance for them to talk about things that happen to the largest town here on the Cape. So
absolutely,
it's been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for joining us, and we will miss you very much here on Barnstable this morning,
I'll be watching, and I'll be looking forward to and expect that Mark Ells, as town manager, will be doing just an excellent job.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning. That program airs weekdays at 8 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald. We'll talk with DPW Director Dan Santos. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.